You're listening to the Confidence Within podcast. If you are a successful professional entrepreneur who is nonetheless struggling with the fear of public speaking, then you are in the right place. This podcast is all about igniting your inner confidence, learning to show up with genuine authority and brilliance, and becoming the best version of yourself. I'm your host, Victoria Lesnyansky, and welcome to my show. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Confidence Within podcast. A while back, I was a speaker at the Smarter Income Stream virtual conference. My talk was on how to ignite your confidence by uncovering your stumbling blocks. Okay, some people call them stories, some call them excuses, but basically these are limiting beliefs that hold you back from feeling confident. And anytime you speak publicly, they whisper in your ear. Who are you to do this? In my talk, I spoke about how you can uncover those stories and how you can take the first step towards silencing them for good. Today, I'm sharing with you a part of the training. Enjoy. It is actually so wonderful that I'm going right after Lisa because I was listening to the beginning of her presentation, which was really great. And in the beginning, she asked, what does publicity stand for in your mind? And somebody immediately say public scrutiny. And I was laughing because I thought, oh my gosh, this is so true. Because be honest, when Lisa was talking about appearing on TV and making yourself visible and being on podcasts and even doing live streams, a lot of you were like, this is scary. Your heart was racing, right? Because we all are afraid of being judged. Anytime you are in front of an audience, you feel like you're being judged. You feel like everyone is asking themselves that question, who is she to be here? Which is not true, but that's how we feel. And the reason I know is because I used to be absolutely terrified of speaking in public. 20 years ago when I started my first business and I knew I had to be visible and I tried to be visible, I couldn't go on stage. I couldn't go in front of people. I couldn't even speak in meetings because that was so scary for me. And I want to help you today. I'm actually going to give you specific things you can do today to help you make that first step towards feeling confident, towards feeling yourself, towards feeling actually excited to be talking to your audience because you have to, right? And here's the thing, I've been thinking about it a lot. You know, why are we so afraid? Why we feel so judged? Because let's face it, each of you knows that you are, if not an expert, then at least you know really well what you do. You know what you do, you're good at what you do. So what happens when we get in front of a camera? What happens when we get in front of a microphone? That immediately every sense in our body starts screaming, I'm not good enough. I am not good enough, and they're going to figure this out. And I think the reason for it is because all of us are self-sabotaging ourselves with the stories we tell ourselves. Some people call them stories. Some people call them limiting beliefs. Some people call them shadows. But it's something that creates a prism of everything that we see about ourselves when we are speaking publicly. And those stories are not something that you consciously self-sabotage on yourself with. Those are the stories that very often got created in your childhood or somewhere along the way. Think about it. If I told you right now that you're wonderful, and maybe there is a reason, like specific reason, you did something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Janet, you are amazing. Look at this. That is such a win. You are amazing. And you're going to believe me. You're going to process it. You're going to think, yay, I'm amazing. But the truth is, by the end of the day, you're going to forget it. And then it will be like, it never happened. But if I told you right now, oh, you don't know anything. You're just not good at what you do. You are going to remember, maybe not consciously, but you're going to remember this for a very long time, maybe for the rest of your life. And that's why stories that got created in our childhood, sometimes without ill intent, where our parents just tried to protect us from the outside world and were trying to hold us back and saying that, no, don't do that because you're not good enough at this. Those are the stories that got stuck with us. And what happens is you sometimes don't even realize that you have those stories inside of you. You don't even realize they actually don't manifest themselves by, oh, I'm not good enough because my parents told me so, right? They don't manifest themselves this way. They manifest themselves in a way of, I probably shouldn't do it because, and then you give yourself logical reason why you shouldn't do it. Let me give you an example. No, I don't need to be on TV. I don't want to be on TV because I'm just not attractive enough. No, I don't need to be on that podcast because I'm not articulate enough. No. People won't like me because my look is not polished enough. No, I can't do that. I can't be visible because English is not my first language and I speak with an accent. Or I am not an expert at what you do. This is especially true for coaches. And so let me give you this as a kind of a bigger example. As a coach, especially as a new coach, for example, or if a new entrepreneur, you feel like there are a lot of people around who know what you do a lot better than you. And so that story in your head is, why would anybody work with me when there are so many people who know a lot more than me? And that immediately triggers, I'm not good enough, they'll judge me, they'll think I'm a fraud, I can't be visible, I can't be out there. And as soon as you tell yourself that, it feels reasonable, it feels logical, it feels like it's the truth, but it's not. And we're going to talk about in just a moment how you work through it, how you address it. But something like this, let me remind you, none of us are experts at what we do. Nobody knows 100% because it's not possible to know everything. But you know enough. Where you are right now, where you are today, even if you're just starting, you know enough for where you are. And there are people out there who want to work with you because of who you are, because of what you know, because of your experience, your expertise, of what you have gone through. And maybe, and that's going to be mind-blowing, maybe they want to work with you because you're not that far ahead of them. They want to work with you because you are not Tony Robbins, because you're not there a million miles away from where they are. They want to work with you because you're only 10 steps ahead of them and you can relate and you understand what they're going through. So remember this, because this is the key to feeling confident. And in my programs, I don't teach you how to fake confidence, how to appear confident. I teach how to feel confident. Because only when you feel truly confident on the inside, when you're able to pull the best version of you and overcome all of those stories and talk yourself out of all of those stories, only then you're able to be at ease in front of any audience, because you can just be yourself and you don't need to pretend. And that is a great feeling. And so here is what I want you to do. It's a two-step process, okay? You can start doing it right this moment. The thing is, remember what I told you, you may not even be aware that you have those thoughts, that you have those stories, that you have those limiting beliefs. The first step is take a piece of paper and write down everything that comes to your mind. You can do it as bullet points. What thoughts do I have when I think that tomorrow I need to be interviewed on TV? What thoughts do I have when I know that right now I need to turn on my camera and go live to thousands of people in the audience? What thoughts do I have if I imagine myself tomorrow stepping on stage? Write it down what you think, because those are going to be your stories. Those are going to be excuses. And keep on writing until you run through all of them. And those are going to be, oh, I'm just not prepared. Oh, I just don't know enough. Oh, I'm just not articulate enough. Oh, I'm not this enough. I'm not that enough. I'm an introvert. They're going to be so many things you're going to write. And they're going to feel logical, and they're going to feel true, and they're going to feel reasonable. And that's right. That's how they need to feel, because then you know you are going through your real stories. And then step 2 is you're going to take each of those stories. I'm not, let's say you wrote, I just don't know enough. I'm so new. And you're going to imagine that your best friend or somebody who knows you really, really well, the real you, not the fake you maybe that you present somewhere, but the real you, that your friend looks at that and tells you, no, wait, Victoria, let me tell you, you're so wrong. You are smart enough. And let me give you an example of when this was the case. Let me give you an example how you did this, how you did that. You are going to imagine that that person looks at every single bullet point, every single statement you wrote, and negates it in a way that's true, not just to make you feel better and be kind. Oh, no, but you are good. No, think of examples that that person who knows you well will give you. Real examples, real things that will negate that story, that will negate that limiting belief. And write it down. And go through it. Spend some time. Spend a few days maybe even going through this. And by the end, what you're going to notice is that you're going to feel a lot more confident. You're going to feel a lot better. Read those responses. Absorb those responses. That builds who you truly are, and that peels away those limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you want to dive deeper into how to conquer your fear of public speaking once and for all, then make sure to grab my free mini course. It's short and to the point so that you can binge watch it in one sitting and start taking action right away. Get the mini course at www.conqueryourfearminicourse.com. Again, this is www.conqueryourfearminicourse.com. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye for now.